You know that feeling where it seems like everyone else is moving faster, achieving more, or somehow figuring life out while you're still trying to catch your breath? You tell yourself that you should be further ahead by now, you should have more clarity, more progress, more confidence. But here's the truth, you haven't fallen behind, you've just been running someone else's race. And the moment that you shift lanes back into your own race, everything changes. My name's Andrew and I help midlife professionals like you break out of identity drift, rebuild clarity and finally grow in the right direction. Today, I'm going to show you why you feel stuck, why comparison is silently draining your confidence, and how to reclaim the race you are actually designed to run. So here's the problem that lots of us face, especially in today's digital world. We think we're actually running our own race. We think that we're going on the path that we've designed for ourselves, but we underestimate how much of other people's goals and other people's life pursuit has actually drifted into our own thinking. If you just think about the social media comparison trap alone, we've got billions of users around the world who are constantly posting their highlights, their best versions of things. We even see people who are in the middle of real life experiences, and instead of being in the experience, they'd rather film the experience to watch themselves later instead of being there. I was at the airport recently and I watched this couple reunite, and the gentleman was waiting for his girlfriend or wife to come from her flight. And as they walked towards each other, they actually both had a phone up filming the other one before they hugged and embraced each other. And something about it mustn't have gone to script because they backed up 5 or 6 paces and she refilmed again. And then after 2 rounds of filming themselves in this authentic, genuine reunion, then they actually hugged for real. It was so bizarre. It was so meta. It was otherworldly. And I thought, how sad that that's where we've gotten to, that we want to tell the world how amazing our life is in a pseudo-digital context instead of actually getting on with living a really good life. One of the greatest problems that we're seeing happen, especially for our younger people, and it travels with them into middle age, is the comparison trap. And in actual fact, what I find often, is people who get to their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and it's only then, with a little help, that they discover they've actually lived for many, many years with what I call subconsciously adopted goals. In other words, they've fed themselves such a constant diet of other people's achievements, other people's progress, that they've onboarded other people's lives and tried to chase that for themselves instead of hitting pause, taking a moment and trying to come to terms with the actual life that they would love to live. So I want to help you today to get out of that comparison trap, to not live somebody else's life, but actually get in touch with what your best life looks like and feels like. And I've got a few helpful questions to get you started. So let's take a look at 3 important questions. The first one is this: what is my shape? This is so important. We go through all of our schooling and our education journey, and virtually nobody stops to ask you that question. What is my shape? In other words, what is my personality? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my passions? What am I naturally good at? What am I not naturally good at? In other words, the discovery of who am I? Instead, we seem to just simply play along with the assembly line machine of go to primary school, go to high school, study hard, do the best in your exam, maybe go to university, all of it pointed at this idea of try to land the highest paying job you possibly can, because then if you make enough money, you'll love your life. We are ignoring the most important questions on the way through our journey and then wonder why people in their 40s and 50s wake up daily hating their existence. part of it is because I haven't taken the time to ask these questions. What is my shape? What gifts have I been given? Therefore, what is it I'm supposed to bring into the world? You've got to take the time to ask this question before you go any further. The second question is, what do I care about? This is also another guiding question that will steer you towards choices and relationships and opportunities that are actually well suited to you. In the same respect, there are things that you don't care about, and you don't have to. You don't have to care about everything, but you will care about some things. For example, you might care deeply about the fact that you want to keep relationship with your children as they grow up, move out of home, marry, and have their own kids. And because you do care about it and you identify it, you're going to take steps to doing something about that investment. But if you don't understand what my shape is, if you don't understand what do I care about, you will be blown in whatever direction the wind happens to blow. This week it's one thing, the next week it's another thing. And if you keep chopping and changing like that, your life will zigzag all over the place, and you'll be living in an absolute lottery of whether or not you end up liking your life. There's a third question that I want you to ask, and that is, what life will I not regret? So you need to forecast into your future, into older age. For some of you think older age is 128, but actually if you're already 40 or 45, you're kind of headed into the third of your life already. What kind of life will I not regret? In other words, forecast yourself into older age and then look back and review your relationships, your possessions, your experiences, your memories. If you were to go through the photo slideshow of your life as an 80-year-old, what moments that you captured would make you feel pleased with your choices versus what things would you not be pleased with? If you could just start with these three questions, answer them honestly, and start to invest in the direction of the answers that come back to you, you will be massively assisting yourself to get on your pathway, get on your track, and run your race. Because this episode is all about this idea of running your race. This word run obviously implies that we don't have forever. We've got a limited amount of time to get on with living the way we want to live and we're meant to live. The word your obviously is about the uniqueness of your journey. Don't live somebody else's life. You only get one. Live yours. And this third word, race, is about this idea of there are certain things that you were put on the planet to achieve and milestones that you're meant to reach to. But if you don't deal with these three questions, you will have no idea what target you're supposed to be aiming at. And therefore, you'll just hit any old target and regret is looming at your doorstep. While we're talking about the idea of running your race and what I call subconsciously adopted goals, this is one of the massive driving factors that keeps grown-up people stuck in places where they're not growing and life is not moving forward. And really, that's the reason why I put together my recent training program that I call True Self-Transformation. There's a link in the show notes below, and if you click on it, I've left a free preview lesson there for you to try so you can get a taste of the course. It could be exactly what you're looking for. I'm going to give you a little cheat code here. One of the reasons why you might be struggling to get upgraded or get promoted in your life, and you're watching other people around you experience that, is because people who employ others and own businesses and have got the power to open doors for you, they open those doors for people who are growing and for people who are not stuck in their life. If you're stuck and you're not growing, your chances of upgrade are almost zero. I guarantee you in this program, I can get you unstuck, I can get you growing and help you to achieve those upgrades that you're longing for. So be encouraged, regardless of your age. Just because you're middle-aged does not at all mean that it's too late for you. If you start asking these smart questions, you can get away from subconsciously adopted goals, you can avoid the comparison trap, and you can get focused on living your life on the track that you're meant to be on, and you'll be so happy that you made those choices. I'm really glad that you took the time to watch this episode today. Don't forget to check out those links in the show notes below, and I'll see you in another video real soon.